Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new review on the Dark Eldar Codex, as you have seen before. This time I want to talk about the troops, and also as they can be used as elites, I will talk about them. So this means that I will talk about the Kabalyte warriors and the witches. And I will start now with the Kabalyte warriors. Kabalyte warriors now are quite cheap, 40 points for 5 Kabalyte warriors, and they can be equipped. If you have 5, they can have 1 special weapon. If you have, you can have 1 heavy weapon for each 10 that you have. The unit can be increased up to 20, and then you can have, if you have 20, you can have 2 special weapons and 2 heavy weapons. So it's, I think these are the one troop, and then you can upgrade them by 3 points for each miniature. You can update them to Trueborn, and then the Trueborn have 2 attacks and 1 point more on leadership. So they are like the Seaberit in the unit. So let's talk first how I like to use them and different uses that you can have. So I have here, I did some build-ups on units that I think are how to take the maximum potential. For example, if you want to a unit just very cheap, I think the best option is 5 Kabalytes with Blaster, 55 points. They have some anti-tank, and they are 5, so it's very cheap. You can use them to hold objective with 55 points. You can have 2 of these units, 110 points, and they can hold 2 objectives in the battlefield, and not to put them on the hard part of the battle. You also can put them in a Venom, and that way they are protected from some shooting, and then the survivals can be used to hold objective. I will not use in that case the Seaberit, and I will not use any other upgrade than the Blaster. The other way I see to use the Kabalyte warriors is as a unit to keep in the background, in the backfield, and use Dark Lance. So 10 with the Dark Lance, you keep it at the back. They just are there. It's 100 points, and they have more numbers, so they will be more easier more difficult to kill. You can put them on terrain next to objective. They hold the objective, and they just shoot the lance, try to make damage to the vehicles. I have to say that in general, and I think here what the weakest point of the Dark Eldar is, you have a lot of anti-infantry shooting. You have a lot of poison weapons, you have a lot of close combat for anti-infantry, but for me one of the big lacks is anti-vehicle, and especially anti-flying vehicles. When we go to the fast attack, we see that these have been improved in some ways, because now we have in fast attack the Razor Wing, and we also have in heavy support the Bomber. But I think in general we will have issues to kill vehicles, especially now that as we will see later on, witches cannot have highway grenades. So for this reason, I think I like to equip now my Kabalyte warriors in a way they can do damage on vehicles, and the best weapons to do that are the Dark Lance and the Blaster. So you can put 10 with a Dark Lance at the backward, you can use 5 with a Blaster, very cheap, just 55 points, put them in a Venom, around 55 points, 110, the Venom is shooting anti-infantry, and the Kabalyte warriors will shoot to the vehicle with the Blaster, or they also can shoot to heavy infantry with the Blaster and the poison weapons. Other option, 10 Kabalyte warriors with Dark Lance, and you put a Rider. The Rider don't need can be used for other purposes, for other units, and then you use the 10 Kabalytes on foot, hiding on rings, and that's use the Dark Lance for long range shooting. Then also this unit can be upgraded to Trueborn by 3 points, and the big advantage of the Trueborn is not that they have 2 attacks. I think these are unnecessary. The big advantage they have is that they can have 4 special weapons, so this is a lot. 4 special weapons, and on top of that they can have 2 heavy weapons. So this unit can have the best or can have a lot of good shooting weapons. So how I see them, the direct one is to have 5, that is a minimum, with blaster, okay? I think I like more to have 6, and the reason is I like to have some bodies before killing my blasters. I know that people want to maximize. If you have 6 with 4 blasters, it's 126 points. If you want to reduce, you can reduce 11 points, so it will be 115 points, and then you have 5 with blaster. Of course, 5 with blaster, the big advantage is they can go in a venom, but the problem is when you start when you start receiving shooting from the enemy, you will lose a lot of points because you will start losing blasters. This is why sometimes I prefer 6, then you need a rider instead of a venom, and you can use the rider in 2 ways. You can use the basic rider with the disintegrator cannon, or you can use the rider with the dart lance. I think the disintegrator cannon is not that bad. So these are going to be a unit specialized in shooting vehicles. And another point that is important, all the weapons or most of the weapons in our army are going to be poison, so you don't need anti-monster weapons. If you want anti-monsters creature, you use the sniper weapons, the splinter weapons. So you don't need to use blasters for anti-monsters. Normally, if you saturate this with the splinter shooting, the monster will be killed. If you want, so the blasters are mainly addressed to shoot vehicles. Again, I will not use the upgrade. I think paying 10 additional points to be able to have the blast pistol is not worth it. It's a lot of points, and I only like the upgrades when the unit will go to close combat, and you don't want that the unit with 4 blasters goes to close combat because they will die very easily. Another build up that is coming to my head and is mainly anti-infantry shooting is to have 8 Trueborns with 4 shredders and 2 splinter cannons. This is 136 points. You can reduce 11 and be the same cost as before. Why I put 8 instead of 6 is because again I want to have at least 2 bodies before I start killing my special weapons. The shredder is not that bad, it's very short range, so this unit will need to go in a rider, and the shooting against infantry is going to be quite devastating. So this unit can kill a big amount of infantry with 136 points. Then there is another build that for me that is like snipers. You put 5 with 2 dart lances, you keep it at the back, and it's just anti-vehicle. You don't need to put them in a vehicle. If you don't have enough vehicles to equip all your units, you take these 5 with 2 lances and you keep it at the back. It's 2 dart lances shooting with a good weapon skill, a ballistic skill, so they are going quite good to big. And then there is the cheap version that is 5 Trueborn with 2 splinter cannons. I don't see this a lot. Is more anti-infantry, or then you can leave them also the backward. The splinter cannon have range 36, so it's not that bad. Although it's salvo, you still have 4 shots when you move, and it's 18 inches. So you can put them in a vehicle. It's going to be a lot of anti-infantry shooting. Can go in a venom and then maximize the venom, or you can leave it at the back and then at 24 inches, and then you're doing a lot of poison shooting. So these are some of the build-ups that I arrived on my first view on the Kabalyte and the Trueborn. Remember, the Kabalyte are mainly are troops, and the Trueborn are elites. So, and then we go to the other choice in troops, that are the witches. And I think the witches, they are nerfed a lot, because they lost the high-wear grenades. That was one of the best assets in the witches and one of the most efficient ways to kill vehicles in the past. So this is a close combat unit. I think for me, if I use them, there are 2 ways. I have 10 with 3 special weapons from witches. Doesn't matter which one you take, both are boosting in the same way. One is, and I did the math, and it depends a little bit, but you are going to have the same efficiency at the end. So it doesn't matter if you repeat to wound, or you repeat to hit, or you repeat once in wounding and hitting. So the 3 special weapons at the end are giving the same type of benefits to the unit. I will, in that case, I will take the Hecatrix. This is a must to have, and then equip the Hecatrix with Agonizer and Highway Grenades. The Highway Grenades is mainly if you get stuck with a Dreadnought, at least you have a miniature that can do damage. And if there is a vehicle that only have 1 hull point remaining, you can kill this vehicle with the Highway Grenades. So I think in that case, and the cost of 10 units with the 3 special weapons and the Hecatrix with Agonizer and the Highway Grenades is 155 points. If you don't want the special weapons because you consider that these are not necessary, then you reduce 50 points, is 140 points. The other way to use them is to use them to put inside a Succubus or an Archon. In that case you need 9, you only can take 1 special weapons if you want, and I will keep using the Hecatrix with the Agonizer and the Highway Grenades. In that way, I will also recommend to have the Archon or the Succubus with the Highway Grenade, so you have 2 Highway Grenades in the unit, then you can do some more damage to the vehicles. Although you cannot kill most of the vehicles with only 2 Highway Grenades, if you go to a vehicle that has been damaged before, you can finalize this vehicle with these grenades. This unit will cost 135 points. You can take out the special weapon from the witches or the witch special weapon that for close combat the unit will cost 130 points. And then this unit as the Trueborn can be upgraded to Bloobrides. From my point of view, I don't see this upgrade. It's 3 points for miniature. I think it's I don't see upgrade a unit that doesn't have a good save. They have a good save in close combat when they are in the fighting ways, but against shooting they are quite vulnerable until they have the feel no pain. So putting a lot of points there, I don't see the benefit. If I have to take a unit of Bloobrides, or I wanted to take just to test, I will take 10 with the 3 special weapons, and I will take then a Siren with Agonizer and Highway Grenades. This will cost 185 points, or I will take 9 of them with 1 special weapons and the other one again the Siren with the Highway Grenades and the Agonizer, and then in that case it will cost 172 points. These are the build-ups I see, so I like more to use the Kabalyte warriors to give support for anti-vehicles, and I see the witches now more focused to kill infantry, and can be used also to put inside one headquarters. And again, I will not use any upgrade on the Kabalyte. Any upgrade. I will not use the Sybarite or the Dragon in the case of the Kabalyte warriors, because I think the upgrades are good when you go in close combat, but when you go for shooting units, these upgrades are not that good. Okay, so that's all for the troops and part of the elites. This is finalizing this video at this point, and next I will cover Incubi, Mandrakes and all the elite units in the next video. So please leave your comment below. How are you going to use? Let me know how are you going to use these 2 units. You are going to use Kabalyte or witches, both, and what build-ups will you do with that units. So again, thanks a lot for watching this video, and see you again later. Bye!